Hey guys, this is Rich from Over the Fender Garage.
Okay, now I've got some foam here, just a 1/4 inch Luan, and I'm going to kind of cover up and fix some of these bad spots, kind of make this a little smoother. So when I do my dash itself, I don't have to do so much body work to it. Cleans it up a lot better. And then I can just peel all this stuff off the back when it's done. But I got the truck 100% wrapped up in plastic and paper, and everything is covered. So I don't have to clean anything when I'm done. This one here is basically ready to go. What I'm gonna do here, basically this is a base for the next round. But I want this one here to smooth all the bumps out. Make everything nice and level as I can get it. And then final sand to what my look is going to be. And then you have to go minus the thickness of what you're going to do, a thickness of the fiberglass, which is usually about 1/4 of an inch. So you want to bring it down in that range to get the thickness. Because if you go make it to the perfect thickness when you're doing it and you don't subtract for the fiberglass, it won't fit. It'll be too big, or it'll hit something that you didn't want it to hit. So, but most of the time you don't run into that problem. You can usually thin it out, put it on the back side, add some more fiberglass to it. It usually works out. That's why I like using fiberglass. It's a nice product to use once you get used to using it. We'll get these pieces all filled in and ready to sand.
my dash is ready to be sanded now. I've got everything covered up in foam. It is all ready to go. That looks cool. So now what I'll do is I'll take my sander and I'll go and sand all this smooth and get ready to start covering it up with some fiberglass and start making the right dash for it. Everything looks really good on it. So let's get into sanding it. The fun part, make a big mess. And we're almost ready to go.
All right, I've got all the foam done. It's all sanded, all contoured. It came out looking bitchin'. I love it. So, next part is going to be do fiberglass on top of this. We got all the contours really nice. Everything came out good, just as I imagined it. Somewhere right around here there'll be the seam for the lower part, so this piece can come out for working on anything that has to be worked on behind it. But this piece here, I'm not real sure if I'm going to have to make this removable or not to get this to wrap, because this might be really hard to wrap this piece. So if I can make this piece removable, I can put it back in. That way I don't have any wrap issues with that. This little spot down here might be a little difficult to wrap too. We'll see. I might have to put a little stitch. If I do, it'll probably be underneath here. Be a good spot for it. But it came out looking really cool. I like it. And I'll probably put like a defrost vent right here in the center on both the pods. It's blowing up on the windshield. It really won't be visible. But all the rest of it looks really good. Matches up really nice on both sides. So now, get into doing the fiberglass, the fun stuff. So, let's jump on that, get it done. If you like my videos, hit that like button, subscribe and share. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed watching. Well, I've got my dash all done here. It is all ready for fiberglass. So now, I'm gonna jump on fiberglass in this thing and working on any bugs I've got in it. But it all came out looking really good. I'm really happy with it. These little spots here, I'm not real sure. I might have to make this to where I have to cut this out and slide this back in after. We'll see, because this part right here will be pretty hard to cover. So we might have to make those removable, but that's easy to do after everything's fiberglassed in. And then the next piece I gotta make will be my pods here for the gauges. But for right now, we are gonna get on the main part and fiberglass this part of the dash up. All right, now the next thing I gotta do is I have to go and tape off the front of this dash in the windshield area so this does not get stuck in there real good. So I'm gonna run some tape here, and then I'm gonna put some packing tape in here. So it makes it a little easier to get out of there. The blue tape I'm using here is the cheaper blue tape. There's two different types of blue tape. There's a cheaper version that's almost like masking tape. And then there's a more expensive version. And this more expensive version is called Sharp Line. This stuff is really good for putting on fresh paint. I mean, I'll wait a few days before I do anything, but you can put this stuff on rockers and stuff like that, and this will not hurt it. Whereas this stuff will. It's not very good to stick to fresh paint. But this stuff's really nice, and it's pretty strong. Really, really strong stuff. The packing tape doesn't stick to it as good. Like the fiberglass and stuff won't stick to it as good as it will to this crepe paper type of blue tape. So it does make getting it off a little easier. And then this will also give you a really nice area that you'll be able to see through if you need to cut something or where the edge of stuff is. So that works pretty good for that. You really don't have to put any tape or anything on this if you don't want to. I mean, it's 50-50 on that. But I will take and tape stuff like right here, I got a little spot lifting up. Didn't get glued all the way. Just put a piece of tape over that. So it smooths that out. And any other spot like that, help clean those up a little bit. Just want to make sure it's tight though, so it doesn't pop off. Go. There's my two bad spots there. Any other bad spot? Got a little bad spot right there. A little more. Use this one. And that one in there. This, if you get it all apart. Like I'll take all this foam off I can get off from the back side when I get the thing done. Like a seam or something that is kind of deep. Just look for that kind of stuff. Like this one right here. Just put something over that. These are all pretty tight. One over here. Like that. Alright, now packing tape. And you got to make sure that this is all blown off and cleaned up. That you don't have any foam fur balls floating around. As if there's a big lump or something, I'll get the fiberglass. It won't hurt it because you can sand it down, but it just makes for a better product. And then I'll also put packing tape on this very front leading edge on the foam. So I got a nice clean edge because it's kind of rough down in here where it meets the dash and the cardboard and the foam and all that. So I'll get that in there to kind of make that smooth. But I'll get it all taped up and we'll start putting some fiberglass on it. All right, it is all taped up. I've got packing tape on anything like this. One thing you gotta make sure of is that your door jamb, you leave enough room for your gasket. Like this has got a gasket that overlaps to the inside. So I left a gap right here. So when I finish this out, when I take it off, this piece here, I'll make a little piece on the side and then finish this out so it's flat all the way in. So I can get my door gasket on there. Otherwise, I won't be able to get the door gasket in there. So that's one little tip there. Anything like that. And then same up here with the windshield. I have enough room all the way up to the metal that I can get a new windshield in, you know, the rubber gasket. It'll fit down in there. It won't be a problem to install. And it goes all the way across, about equal, so that won't be a problem for a new windshield or replacement or something. Same thing on this side. I've got the gap for the weather stripping. But everything's taped up, everything's ready to go. I got tape on the floor here too. I got tape around my steering column. It's this piece here, it'll come up over the top and then go back down, and then I'll make a little filler piece for right here.
And other than that, it's all ready to go. So let's start sticking some fiberglass on here. Okay, I'm all ready to go here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with this center piece, go down this, and then I'll do the bumps and work my way out both sides. I'm all ready to go here. I went and I cut me some pieces for this. That's what you see some of these marks for. Measured them up so I could cut them to size, got them all cut, ready to go. So now it's time to start covering this up, make it into a dashboard. It's the next day. Dash is all dry, and it came out looking pretty good. I had a couple of brain farts though, which is not really a big deal. But the overall, it came out pretty sweet. There it is. Nice. But my one little brain fart I had, it's when I started. Of course, I noticed it when I started putting this piece on there. I forgot to do the second layer. It was supposed to have a skinnier one right here. I forgot to put it in there. Whoops. So the fiberglass didn't stay. So I was cutting that off as I was doing that. So I'll have to adjust this little piece. It's on both sides. Not really a big deal. Not gonna hurt anything. It's just I'll fill this piece in with another piece and then fiberglass over the top of that, so it won't be a problem. And then I had this one fall off last night, so I'll have to cut that off and redo that one piece. But I can actually get it out of the truck, and I can do that. Won't be a problem. It happens with fiberglass. It's real hard to get it to stay up. So this one stayed up fine. So we only got one to fix. See, I only put one layer here, 2 layers here. There's one layer comes almost all the way out to the end, and then the second layer is like right here. So it's not going all the way underneath it, but it's enough to make it strong enough to work. That's mainly what I was after. With this one, it kept falling off while I was working on it. I couldn't get it to stop falling off. I don't know why. It'll do that on you, but it's easy fix. You just cut it off, try to get it sanded pretty smooth in those areas, and put a new piece on there. So other than that, it came out really good. All looks nice. It's all clean. It's really, really very smooth, so it's gonna be very little body work to do to it. Got a little spot right here. There's a dip, but I could see that in my my mold I had underneath here. There was a little dip there in the cardboard, but that's not a big deal either. It's like a little spot right here. There's a little divot right there. Just kind of little stuff like that. So it's very little body work. But the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to clean this up before I break it out of here a little bit. It's easier to work on it in here than it is to take it out and try to hold it. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to clean up some of these little spots here I got to clean up and get ready to break it out of here. Get it finished up and come up with some idea for my pods. I got a little bit running up here on what I'm going to do to it, but I love it. I think it looks cool as hell. So let's get this cleaned up. everything now is all cleaned up basically. It is still a little soft. I do like to get in here while it's still a little soft and kind of sand a little bit. Keep so much dust from flying around. But I mean, it's hard. It's just at the edges, some places where it's thin or it popped off like this. Fiberglass is kind of strange the way it dries. Anything like this is going to take longer to dry than something that's in the mass. So it's kind of a little strange to work with, but it's not too bad. So I've got a couple spots like this. See, this has only got like one layer right here. So it's soft. But it's hard enough for me to get it out of here. So I went and I cleaned up everything, all the little finger prickers and stuff like that. Because fiberglass slivers suck. So I make sure to try to knock all those off there. I went and I trimmed where my windshield's at. Got that all out of there. It makes it a little easier to get it out. If I left that big piece on there, it'd be tougher to get out. I trim my A-pillar areas. Get that piece out of there easier. And then I took a wax pencil and I went and marked where my windshield will lay. It's just the kind of the bottom of the channel here. It's all the way across. I got bolt holes drilled into it already. So now I can yank this out of here. This is not a cut line. This is just to mark where this is at. So I can trim this back away from it. Because you got to have enough for your, whatever you're covering something with, to go in there. So it's always nice to know where that's at. But it's ready to come out now. So now the fun part is getting it out. It shouldn't be too bad. It's mainly just stuck to the floor as of right now. I think the top is pretty loose. Let's see. No, it's still stuck in there. But it shouldn't be too bad to get out. What's going to be tough is the steering column if it's stuck to it. I normally have a 2-inch piece of exhaust pipe that I use as a fake column when I'm making up a dashboard, but couldn't use it in this because of the way I've got the steering column mounted, so I had to do it that way. Shouldn't be a problem, but you never know. So we will get this thing out of here and get it over onto the bench. Take a look at it.